card team members. Look at them. They're pretending to be a mailman and Ronnie Lawson's sheriff's office too, and all this other stuff. And here's this play-by-play supposedly coming from the Stacey Slay / card team FBI member, right? In the Discord. And this person's telling Penny and all, everybody in the Discord rooms, like this play-by-play, like Ronnie Lawson's really getting his ass chewed by Roush and all them, which is like the one that you see talking about Summer and the drone capabilities and a lot of while back, right? Testifying on it. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, supposedly him and this, whatever, chewing Ronnie Lawson's ass and all this, and I guess they're just standing by as somehow also a TBI FBI member plus a mailman. It makes no sense, right? And I'm like, I kept telling them for days. I was like, this is stupid, right? There's no way in hell. And then the whole hotel thing happens with 423 and Ginger Snap and whatnot. And then they say that I need to call. And by this point, I realized, which I knew immediately, like no real FBI agent's going to be hanging out talking to YouTubers in Discord and acting like the real feds would sniff them out, realize what they were up to, and fired them and brought them up on charges immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they were all offering it out like this person was giving YouTube info and this person, whatever. So anyway, but what it was really being used for was to siphon info, tips to make people around Summer's case cough up whatever, make them feel comfortable. It was a manipulation tactic, is what it was. Siphoning info and everything else in Summer's case. And so anyway, I realized very early on, because what had happened is Penny and Chase and all them didn't realize that I was obviously still in communication with and everything down there. And so
Hello.
there was a big,
Hi, Lisa. We're here. Go ahead, Jody.
There was a vid chat I was on with someone on Ben Hill. And at the same time, Penny and them were sending pictures to me as this fake card team FBI member. I could visually see two cars on Ben Hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a flare gun thing that was done, and it scared the shit out of them. And they both took off. And
the fuck?
That's not something feds or anybody else that we, would have taken off for, right? And you're not going to sit any idiot and any cop and any fed's not going to sit in there because you can't hide. The whole neighborhood's going to know the feds are in there. They're going to know the cops are in there, and you're just not going to park at the bottom of the driveways, right? And so,
let me start off by saying this woman, Lisa Kay, does absolutely have a child that needs justice. I don't know the whole story. Lisa Kay, if you're still out there and you want to come tell your child's story, I would be willing to put it out here. There is a murder billboard in Cookeville, Tennessee. However, Linda's son is not on that billboard. We're going to listen a little bit here. When Lisa starts talking about the billboard, I'm going to play a news clip of this billboard. Do I have one or two? I have two news stories. We're going to go over about the billboard. We're going to go over Linda's obituary for her son, who, listen, man, I'm going to show you guys something. Because we're researching, right? Linda can research me. She can research Tiffany and Jody. she could start a whole research team, right? So I think it's fair we start researching her, because the first thing I want to show you, public information, everything speculation. Linda has a family member named Stephanie that lives in Wisconsin. Just thought I'd point that out, but we'll get rid of that. Linda also has, and Jody, you're a bitch. Even though Linda tried to sue me, I have sympathy. Linda's son's father. Linda's been through a lot from what I see publicly online. Linda, even though you're a cunt, you have my prayers. I'm sorry you've lost so much in life. Her son's father passed away of a motorcycle accident in 1981. Her son, which probably was the same year her son was born, and unfortunately, her son, hi Taji, let me go to his obituary, had also passed away about the same age as his father. I believe he was pew-pewed by police. I don't know the story behind it. I've seen a news story about it. However, I can't find it today. If anybody could help me, that would be really nice. I'm looking for anybody who lived in the area of, what was it? Cookeville. Cookeville, Tennessee. Or no, not Cookeville. Cookeville's where the billboards are. Let me read this first. Who lived in the area as Linda's son when he passed away, because I would like to hear people's recollections of this. Christopher Kevin Dobler, 26, of South Central Community, died Monday at his home. Mr. Dobler was employed by Tri-City Security as a guard at the Asbury Center in Johnson City. His family and friends knew him to have a love for life, family, friends, and animals. He was a frequent visitor to Johnson City Humane Society Animal Shelter. Survivors include his mother and stepfather, Linda and Keith Cutshaw, special sisters Stephanie Cutshaw and Ashley Cutshaw, and a special brother, Isaac Cutshaw, all of the family home. His girlfriend, Candace Dunn of Johnson City, who, by the way, was pregnant with her son's baby at the time of her son's death. That's horrifying. I would never come out here and put false details, although Linda has accused me of doing that and spreading false information about her child, which I have not. I haven't even covered her son. And if she wanted justice for her son, you would think that she would want people to cover him, right? And the truth. So, Linda, even though you did the fuck shit you did, if you want to come up and tell us the story of your son, which you're going to tell us, I think, on Tiffany's panel here, that we're going to listen to, I would love to listen to it. But if I remember correctly, your son did something to cause the police to come into his home and pew him. I don't know what that was. I'm very sorry for all of your tragic losses. Linda is originally from Washington State, not Tennessee. I don't know how she met her husband and ended up in Tennessee. However, this is all factual information on the internet. You're welcome to go search it. Okay? Bitch is going to quit accusing me of spreading false information when that's not what I'm doing. Last night, Lisa K is in my chat saying, that's not me. I'm going to sue you. Bitch, if you'd have listened to the whole fucking thing, you would have heard me say your boy Chris, Rose's husband, who I believe may have some guilt in his own wife's disappearance. In my opinion, I'm speculating based off of you being here in Summer's case. Stated that he knew Lisa Key. Lisa Key states she knows Linda. Lisa, you've been watching my channel. You've spoken. You've been in my chat when I talk about my lawsuits. How dare you get in my comment sections and say, who's Linda? At this point, anybody left in Summer Wells community knows who Linda is. I'm covering it. You were watching a live where Tiffany Marie was speaking on it. So keep sending me your threats for lawsuits. And let's keep in mind that your friend, Wisconsin Mama, her children were around at the time of Rose's disappearance. Just keep remembering that. Okay? I covered that a couple months ago, maybe about a year ago. I don't know. Search my videos. I covered Wisconsin Mama, who's in prayer gardens a lot, playing a lot of fucking fuck shit games. Lisa's best friend, whose children were present when Rose went missing and questioned again recently because I made a phone call. Isn't that right, Lisa? Miss Paralegal, go file your lawsuits. Let me play this. When Lisa K's done talking, we're going to play a little bit about the billboards she's talking about.
A fake card team member, which is actually a couple people they've sent in there off the ground here locally to take pictures and pretend like. But I watch them scatter. And then here's this picture and it's coming in, whatever. So I'm like, The next thing you know, this super secret agent FBI person and painting your bra like, oh, they want you to call in and what's it, he want, which is someone's head FBI agent. Okay. He wants you to call in and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, sure. And it's to assure me that this Stacy Slade person is real and, whatever, right? And whatever. So then what they do is they give me the phone number. They try a million different ways to verify. Because it's like, look, I'm not calling this person. And just like, yeah. But they gave me, I was like, well, where's the TBI office thing they take people to, whatever. I didn't realize it was public knowledge. So they Google searched and found it, and they offered that as proof that this person was real. Then I got smart. I was like, wait. I Googled myself, realized that was public info. I was like, well, damn. So what happens is I call the number that they had given, right? They slave person. And when I called the number, because they gave me not just the number, but an extension behind it, right? And the extension come back to some electronic nonsense. And so I like hung up. I was like, this ain't right. And I just got his real number and called him directly. And when I did, because I told him I was doing that, Linda was in the Discord at the time. And one of them was like, well, just call, whatever, straight out. Well, when I did that, it becomes, I talked to him and he immediately goes, well, I was like, I was told I was supposed to contact you. And he was like, no, I was told that you needed to speak to me. And we both said the name Stacy Slade at the same time.
Wow.
And so he was
Penny, who the fuck is Stacy Slade? Penny, who is this person? Why can't you just say?
Good afternoon.
Stacy Slade also was pushing a shit ton of money into that marathon, pushed them to other creators, somehow connected my PayPal and my Facebook to my Facebook and pushed money to me that Penny and everybody else knew I did not want, that I also reported to the feds. But that night when I called and I told him, I was like, look, they gave me an extension too, that I assume what they're going to do is have a little fake actor on the end of, asking me for the whole information.
Please tell Linda what Linda Lorraine told me.
What, Lisa? What Linda Marie told you? Lisa?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Were you
Linda,
yelling? Go ahead.
no, I wasn't here. No, no. Yes,
You're
ma'am.
here. It's okay. It's okay. Jody, hang on to that thought. You wanted to say something about Linda. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yes, ma'am. Linda came.
Lisa Kay is not an actor. However, I'm curious why Linda came to her when Linda's son is not on this billboard that this woman's getting ready to talk about. Was Linda fighting for justice for her son? I absolutely believe she was. Is she hurt? I absolutely believe she is, but I don't know what her son did. I can't find the news clip that I seen a couple years ago. I'm looking for it. If anybody can find a news clip for somebody named Kevin, or not Kevin, Christopher Kevin Debler in 2005. That's Linda's son who passed away. I just read the obituary, but I want to see evidence of why the police shot him or what the story was behind it. Linda wants it covered. She's fighting for justice for her son. How could we deny her that? However, that means, Linda, we have to research you, just like you researched me. Just like you researched Jody and Karen. I think I'm going to start a live research team right in my chat. What do you think? We could do it in a public with all public info? I wonder, do you have anybody in your family who's on the Megan's Law list or anybody who has harmed a child in any way? I've already discovered you have family in Wisconsin. Not that that means anything, because it absolutely don't. But we could do research teams, Linda. And just like Scott, I can get a notebook and I can make a slam book. And we could put a list of names on there. Just like Scott in your research team. I think it sounds fun. What do you say, chat? Linda's involved herself quite far in Summer's case. Don't you think she needs researched? Because I do. What's your past, Linda? You know mine. You've stalked me for the past 2-3 years. It's my turn. Take me to court again. Make sure you hire Phillips, who likes the word touche when I tell him his life is a mess because of you, right? You're destroying attorneys. In my opinion, I'm speculating. Huh, bro? You're like the chubby old lady version of Alex Jones, except you never made money off your lies. Laugh out loud. You're lame. You're like the addicted attorney that cheats on his wife and makes bad decisions. I'm not married. Wonder why. Touche. That's how your attorney talks to people, Linda. 5 lawsuits. I'm curious why. But let's listen some more and then we'll go play these news clips about the billboards. No, Isabella, it's not our business, but it is our business when when Linda involves herself in a case so deeply where she says she smells decomposition on Donwell's job site, then says it's a dog with no proof that the police had come and searched and took the dumpster, which is another story she told when she's bullying people and trying to silence people with 4 or 5 lawsuits, along with another woman who involved herself, who all connects to Jody Sue and TT, the lights, in my opinion, who babysits for Tucker and is sneaking on Donwell's job site property, driving around with Chase, looking at Donna Serafina's checkpoints for Penny and Scott. In Summerwell's case, I think it's important. It is for Ellie. You're right. It definitely is for LE, but the stuff that's already been put out there in public, I think, is okay to look at. I think public stuff to look at is okay. And I think if Linda's son was really murdered by the Chuckney police, then he needs justice too. And I would fight for justice for Linda's son. I would like to hear more of the story since she made herself such a big deal involving herself in Summer's case. If Linda feels her son needs justice, let's give him justice. Don't you think that if the police just came and pew-pewed her kid and unalived him for no damn reason, then we should look into that? It's a crime. And it's also a crime in a community where Sean Williams ran around for how long doing what he did and how close to Summer Wells. That's where Linda lives. So, spray off the windowsills. What's that about? I'm just saying, if this woman truly believes, let's listen to her story, because I believe she comes up on Tiffany's panel and tells it. We'll decide from there. Ellie is involved, Isabella. She's accusing Ellie of unaliving her child, which they did. I just don't know the circumstances. Oh. So let's listen. Let's see if Linda tells us the circumstances when she gets on. But I do want to go over this billboard because I think it's important. And I think this Lisa Kay had some important things to say about things that go on in Tennessee. However, she's from Cookeville or something, and it's really close to Nashville, nowhere near where Summer lives. But she makes she's on the news with other mothers and Johnny Cash's niece, which, Jody Sue, you're a bitch. I can't believe the way you jumped off of here being a bitch about somebody's murdered niece, saying it was a conspiracy when it's really real. No matter if the the girl's uncle was famous or not. That was extremely rude, but you guys will see it.
To me, I'm trying. We actually started. You're echoing, godly. Woo.
Okay.
Okay, let me try this just a different way for a second.
Shut your YouTube.
Okay, yes, I'm on YouTube.
No. I think your YouTube is open and it's echoing. That might be what's going on. So when you click the link from my YouTube chat, it keeps YouTube open in the background. And that's
Okay.
I'm about to light a cigarette too, Jody. When you click that link from my chat, it keeps YouTube open in the background, and that's what it echoes. So when you click that link, you have to close YouTube.
Why, Linda? Don't you want justice for him? I thought you want justice for your son. You come out of here and you talked about him publicly, so now I'm going to put your story out there. I don't understand. I've never done nothing to you or your son. Your attacks have been placed on me, not me, you. I made a comment in Penny's comment section that asked you about the death. That was it. I didn't write you first. You wrote me demanding I send you my Renfro video. Remember? I did not a fucking thing to you. You're the one stating that your son was unalived and that you want justice for him. Isn't that correct? Why wouldn't you want justice for your son now, Linda? What changed? I'm sitting here giving you my condolences about your son's father. I'm saying sorry to you. I'm being empathetic and understanding why it is you might be on YouTube, but I don't understand your direct contact in the games you've played. Obviously, you're paying attention to me closely because you keep coming in here, and this is now another name you use. How many is that now? Like 17? Screen names, Linda? I should go back and count them. I think we're pretty close to 17 or 18. So I'd like to know why. What's your end game, Linda? How did you get involved with Scott? Like, how did you meet them? Penny. How do you get close enough to her that she gives you her passwords to her emails? Why are you on here saying a fake Fed came to you and harassed you while you're intercepting the fake Fed's emails? See, I think you've forgotten that your story has changed over time and that you can't keep your lies straight. So now we're going to pull them out because you, in my opinion, I'm speculating, have played fuck shit in Summer's name and in her case. The question is why? What are you hiding? What is your motive? What is your end game? Because I'm only pointing out things that you and people who you're friends with have said publicly. I'd like to know, do you still talk to Lisa Kay? Why do you involve yourself in other people's cases? And why have you for such a long time? When did you start your first YouTube, Linda? How many true crime cases have you followed? Yeah, Poison Ivy, I think I should. And Linda tried to silence me from bringing that out because Linda found out about it before I did. So Linda's part of that. Maybe she was a fellow stripper with JS. Maybe. Could you imagine Scott and old lady Linda? Woo woo. Gavel would be there twerking. Helen. No, I never said I knew where Summer was, Poison Ivy. What I said was the connections to We Can Bring You Hope Foundation connect to my family. What I said was there was a murder of a man years ago when I was a child that my mother witnessed from a guy named Newitt, I believe was the last name. I could be wrong. I have to look it up. I said that the other day and did not. But he was from Tennessee and Virginia. What I said was my cousins are also cousins with Fred Hill. I never once said I knew where Summer was. As a matter of fact, I think on every live, Poison Ivy, I state that I am not the cops. I do not have a degree in law enforcement. and I cannot give you that information. And I believe that at one time my channel name was Speculation, and every single one of my thumbnails say that. So unless you're illiterate, bye. Okay? That's how Scott met Jody. So you never know. Could have been at the strip club. I think you should probably worry about your children. Why are you in my chat? My children are grown, honey. My children have their own children and don't live here or raise their own children in my home. I'm a single woman now that has nothing but time. I think you should worry about your life. I don't have to worry about them. They're under my roof. They're downstairs and they're with their parents. I never said my family killed her. I said it's possible they may have been involved. And I've addressed that a million times, Poison Ivy. So you're troll. We can welcome the trolls today. I'll stay here all day because, like I said, I have. Oh, look. The one who has an obsession with me that uses my father's name. Do you want to link Marty Stanley's land? For some reason, I feel like that might be Benny. I don't know. It has a Benny feel. Do you want to link? Or is that Linda too? Come on. What's karma? You've already tried karma. How many times? It might be the attorney. Who is this? Who's using he's using my father's name and talking about my father's land. Marty Stanley is my father. And actually, it's Martin Chad Stanley. June 5th, 1958. If you need more details, I'll gladly give them to you. You can go do the research and put the real details out there. Maybe it's JLR, since JLR was trespassing on my father's land. What do you think? You want a link, puss? I better take down public information or she's striking me for not using her material. Material that doesn't belong to her. Tiffany would be the only one that could strike me, Linda. I would fight the strike. It's not your material and it's public information that you put down. Why are you so worried about us listening to this? That's scary, isn't it? Linda doesn't want us to listen to her own public words on somebody else's panel. Why is that, Linda? I don't think Tiffany's going to strike me. I'm not talking bad about your son, Linda. I'm trying to do what you set out here to do, which was get him justice, right? Isn't that what you wanted? Why wouldn't you want that now? I mean, that's why you came to YouTube, right? Like, that's why you involved yourself in Summer's case. We're going to listen and find out, but you can't strike me for Tiffany Marie's content, for public words that you said. That's not quite how that works. Just like not trying to silence people in court is quite how that works either, when you file frivolous lawsuits. I 100% know who Linda is. Linda tried to take me to court, Poison Ivy. Linda knows I know who she is. That's why she's in here begging me not to share whatever it is I'm about to share with y'all. Go ahead. You like my busted front tooth? I can name you Pussy McPussers, Ass Face. Come show us who you are. The trolls just love coming in here when I cover certain things, don't they? His death is public business because Linda stated it publicly. Right, Linda? You stated it publicly. Summer's disappearance would be none of your business in the same fashion. Isn't that correct? Do you see me going to the scene where your son was pew-pewed? Unalived? No. But you went to the scene of Summer's father, didn't you? And to the airport the day they left for Dr. Phil. Why? Who was you meeting at the airport with Penny, Linda? You want to answer that? Fine, and let's not talk about your son. Let's talk about you. Would you like a link? Here. I'm clueless. What am I clueless about? What's more false allegations? Poison Ivy. What's a false? Ask Linda if what I'm saying is false allegations. I have recordings of Jody saying it. I've played them. We can go back and play them again. It's not a false allegation. Okay, I thought that's what I heard. Linda, if he was not shot, I don't know. How do you believe the police killed him? Tell us the story. What justice are you fighting for? Well, I'm going by what Jody said. Everything on my channel, Poison Ivy, is speculation. I didn't say it was true. I'm asking, is it true? Jody Sue lies a lot. I absolutely agree. How did you get so close with Jody that you were making YouTube pages and trolling for her, Linda? No, we know that's true because that was on a 13-hour call that I've been shown for the last 3 years, right? Tiffany tells you pull your thing down and you show us all your troll account names. I don't state nothing as fact, Marty Stanley's land. You obviously don't watch me. How many times just now in the first 37 minutes have I said my channel's a speculation channel? Like I said, did you miss my thumbnail? I ain't never said nothing's fact. I said it's my opinions based off of the things that I see. You trolled who one time? Because what I seen was names of people who troll, fuck around and find out. The coleslaw names, those are people that troll for Jody. Right? Like, look at the names. I think you need to go back and look at what you were doing at that time under them names, Linda. All right, Poison Ivy's going because I've done already explained to this illiterate fuck that doesn't understand how to read my thumbnails or my channel description or name or hear. They must be deaf and mute and blind or something. I don't know. Bullshit. That's bullshit. Okay. Then let's go here since you're derailing my live and I like it. I'm going to let you derail today. Since that's bullshit. Is this it? Hold on. Boy, I had all kinds of content lined up for y'all today, but I guess we'll be doing something else, huh? All right, I got to start a new video because I took it down, I think. Wait, it might be in here. No, that's okay. Give me 1 second here, guys. Because I'm going to show you what Linda is stating as bullshit is fact. And this I will state is fact because it's in front of our damn eyes. Okay? Give me 1 minute. I just gotta find it because I took it down. I did share it the other day. I could just go to my live. Is that it? Oh no, that's a Scott call. Hold on.
Okay. Go to YouTube. With so much to hide.
Okay, now what do I do?
Where you at, Linda?
Okay. Go to YouTube.
Okay.
Okay. I need you to go up to the top where your icon is.
Okay.
Click on it. And I need you to go to switch account.
Hold on. Because I can even do something more for y'all. Coffee Crayons is presenting. Here, we'll leave the whole screen up. You can't see it real good.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Look at all them.
Okay. Coleslaw. Stop the BS. Christopher's mom. Scroll up. Keep going. Thank you. All set.
Number 1, right there.
Click on videos. Just click on her icon and then click videos.
So, Linda, you're telling me this didn't happen and it doesn't show your accounts. Then who do they belong to? Because they're on her Google. They're on her phone. She's showing her screen. So does that mean she's hacking other people's shit and using their shit? Or other people are giving her more permission to intercept like emails or something like that from fake federal agents? It doesn't matter. They're on her phone. They shouldn't be logged into or coming up on her Google account, period. Right? Oh, the kid she teaches is naming herself Coleslaw, Stop the Bullshit, Fuck Around and Find Out. Is that what you're saying, Marty Stanley's land? Dad's land. I'm going to start calling you Dad. Hi, Dad. It's for learning. Stop the Bullshit is for learning. Coleslaw. The name Jody Sue calls Andy's girlfriend. That's for learning. Fuck Around and Find Out. Wow, what the fuck are you teaching them kids? Virtual school had to use your devices. That doesn't make sense, ma'am. Not under the accounts playing games in Jody's name. Everybody, call Marty Stanley's land daddy. Okay, but you shouldn't have those accounts mixed in with your children's accounts. You should have a separate Google account for that. Or a school, like I know here in my city, Pittsburgh Public Schools has a .edu, and they use it for everything. No, not flies. I ain't talking about nobody's kids. She's talking about people's kids. I didn't come in and say those are people I babysit. Linda said it. Go tell her to quit talking about people's kids. See? Now she's talking about her grandson. Why would you allow your grandson to use your YouTube when you do such horrible things on it? In my opinion, you're not a so great daycare provider if you allow children to do that. No, that Flies isn't the same account. And I mean, you're a daycare provider. Is that what you do at your daycare? You allow your kids to play with phones? I don't think that's usually on the menu of things children do at a daycare center. But okay. I didn't mention kids. I mentioned her adult child who was 26 years old. Just like everybody said Jody Sue's son's an adult. Well, her son was even older than Jody Sue's. He was a whole adult on his own and lived in his own apartment. I mean, I'm someone's child. Y'all get on here and talk about me. Pink, Birdo, ain't you someone's child? Linda's someone's child. Flies on the coleslaw is someone's child. Helen is someone's child. So much to say is someone's child. I mean, at what point do you consider children adults that are their free own person? Right? My children have been talked about a whole hell of a lot. Virtual school for children that are 0 to 5. She teaches children 0 to 5. We were just told that, and now you have virtual school for them. I'm calling your bluff. Leave who alone? I'm going off things you said on Tiffany Marie's panel involving yourself in Summer's case because you brought it here. Linda, let's get back to it. Where'd it
go? Keep your StreamYard open, but you have to close YouTube. I know it's kind of... Yeah.
Okay, how do I close StreamYard? I may close.
You don't want to close StreamYard. You just want to close YouTube. But what I would suggest you doing, Lisa, is click that link and save it and text it to yourself or send it to your... hold on. We lost her. Hold on. Let me just tell her.
Why does she sound like she is so much older on her profile pictures of somebody in there?
It's Jody, you know what it is? It's one of those like remember on Facebook they have like those look like a model in your magazine type.
Oh. Okay.
All right. So Lisa Key, what you're gonna do is save that link that's there, send it to yourself. Don't even click it from YouTube. YouTube is gonna get in the way and it's gonna be a pain, and you're not gonna be able to you're going to have an echo. So send the link to yourself, click on it, but keep your YouTube closed. So click on that link and send it to yourself somewhere, like in a text or in a Facebook message or in an email. Close out YouTube and click the link from your email. You send it straight to yourself. Just go write an email to yourself. It's going to make it.
Oh, you're dating my husband? Look, so much to say is dating my husband. I hope you know we had sex just like 2 days ago. How long you been dating poor Earl? He was in my bed 2 days ago, so much to say. You do know that, right? It's even funny that somebody would want to come in here and help to hurt further somebody's marriage. And you know this shit ain't true. And even if it is, you can have him. Do you want me to tell you what it's like living with him? because I can, with proof. I hope you like a lot of emotional games and lies. I don't know. I didn't suck his dirty dick. He sticks it in too many other women from the Dateline while he shows his dick pics to people. You should hear about the girl with the banana. Ask him about Hey Boo. Ask him about the time he caught trichomonas. Not for me. It was before me. Ask him about the strip clubs that him and his friends made. One of them, the McKeesport Cop, where they trafficked a friend of mine. She was a Greek girl that went to Pitt. Her name was Pinota. They abused the hell out of her, including my husband. I just didn't know how far in he was until I started discovering other things. I knew he went to it, the illegal strip club. But hey, if you want to brag about dating my husband, I'm proud of you. Yo, you got yourself a real fucking winner. The question is, how did my pussy taste? Because he did eat my shit, but I didn't suck his shit. So why don't you tell me? He ain't bad at it. Dude's just an abusive douche. You want the truth? Talking about kids again. What kid am I talking about? I'm talking about my husband. That kid? Yeah. No one wants your sloppy seconds. Well, you're on here saying you have my sloppy seconds. Didn't you? How'd your pee taste? You're dating my husband, sticking up for my husband. Do you know him in real life? I mean, it's pretty funny that people that don't even know somebody in real life would get on here and troll somebody and try to hurt them to the core for no damn reason except for trying to cover a public live that someone who is no one special truth. That's a really good name for you. What's the connected videos? I'll go the corrected video. Go get it. Linda, link it to me. Show me the corrected video. I don't understand how there could be a corrected video. Go get it. I'll show it. Don't come in here and say I won't show something you ain't even asked me to show. This is fun today. Right, never trust anyone that says trust me. Even the trolling is shit. They can't troll right. Thank you, Isabella. As you troll Linda about her child, I'm not trolling anybody. I'm covering Linda's words. Do you understand that? Linda trolled her own child live, and now she's trying to stop me from doing so. Whose children? He was an adult. Do you consider somebody 26 a child? I'm not talking about your late child. You spoke about your late child, hun. Publicly. While you were speaking about Summer and her case. So now I'm going to come off and I'm going to let you go off in my chat and say all the trolly things you want, and I'm not going to allow you to derail me no more. However, I'm going to keep your comments. Just in case you try to sue me again.
It's so much easier. I know it's hard. You know what? I wish they would make it easier for people. For us, it's easy. We know it like 1, 2, 3, but for others, they have a lot of trouble. So, go ahead, Jody. I'm sorry. I think she was having echoes and a little bit of difficulty. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're good. So, and see, they had this frantic thing, her and 423 did to put us in that hotel anyway. It never made sense, right? I was already here, already in the camper. Yeah, I was afraid, but it's kind of like they're extra pushing, you know what I mean? didn't really want to go, but they were being nice, and I didn't want to not to. And then they're like, "Oh, well, there's going to be more help after, etc." And I was like, "Well, I don't know really." But then they just kind of show up. I think it's kind of bullshit the night before when I hang up with them, whatever, right? Next thing I know, the next day I wake up to them going, we're outside your house, and Chase is waiting on you, and have you got your stuff packed?" And I'm like, well, holy shit. And at this point, you feel obligated, right? So I'm like, fuck, right? Okay, whatever. And then, honest to God, DM, I swear to you, I think the damn hotel room was bugged as hell. And I say this because of the way the front desk lady was behaving, knew me, all the stuff going on. I think what their plan was, because see, once they got there, they really had no plan. They didn't get what they wanted with the fake FBI agent. They didn't get it when I talked, and then I screwed up their plans by calling the real one instead of the one with the number at the end of it, right? Because I think what was waiting on that end was somebody fake to ask me all the stuff again, just like a real agent would, right? And to go over the whole thing, and then what is it? YouTube's got the whole neighbor story, right? And so, yeah. But anyway, that's not what they got because I called the real agent. And then he was like, by this time they knew that was what was happening. So then I think they thought he would ask me questions, or I'd, go over the whole thing with him. They just get whatever they could by whatever the hell they had going in the hotel room. And that didn't work either because all he wanted by that point was the damn Discord. And I gave it to him. And then I stayed in there with them and their fake Fed bullshit for weeks after that. With them playing games, siphoning information, trying to get whatever. And I knew they were full of shit by this point. I knew the con fundraiser was taking place. I could see the little criminal empire stuff. And I was just trying to figure out how it all connected throughout all those days, right? And so I hate to say it, but feeding them out bullshit and so that Discord. And I basically told them, I'm like, it was whatever the hell I needed to do to figure out what the hell they were up to. And then I'm like, well, holy hell, here's this guy, and he's got this brand new YouTube right before summer goes vanishing. And then here they are, being crazy enough to have a fake Fed and people down here in the actual hollows. Like, are they involved in her disappearance type thing, right?
Yep.
And so, and I know a couple of the YouTube groups with the chasing and the justices were associated at that point who have now kind of, But anyway, then from others throughout this, and I don't want to say too much on so many things like I did at first, but
Yeah.
where it concerns the FBI agent, because I know news reporters are involved, and I know for
Linda, I'm more than happy to play the corrected video. I don't understand how you correct your own words. Do you mean changed your own words? Corrected or changed your story? This has more than just about you in it. Do you understand that? And I'm not going to stop playing it. I don't understand why you're over here asking me to stop playing this. But if there is a corrected video and you're stating I won't play it when I'm telling you I will, please go get it and share the link with me. We will play both. This is your own words, woman. We're going to have you come on panel here. Do you understand that? It's about Summer, not her child. There's more to this live that she's trying to get me to shut off. Right, Marion. This is ridiculous what I'm doing right now, playing an old thing about Kelly Fustos. Linda, Benny, Jody, Sue, Tiffany, all the old fuck shit that started all the problems. So what you're saying is there had to be a corrected video, Linda, because you lied. Or because you created a lie. You had to correct your own shit. You get on this live and speak with your own fucking mouth. This isn't just about you and your son. And yes, old videos does count in Summer's case, because old videos was the time you were paying for Jody Sue's hotel, driving around with Chase. Huge nuggets in the old info. Helen, what is there to lie about? We're sitting here watching it. What is there to lie about, Pink Bow? Ain't that Ernie's girl? She was over there. Yap, 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 yap. They were making fun of her cartoon picture, video game picture with the big snout nose. What are you sticking that thing? A couple penises? Look at her calling me names. Okay, then what needed to be corrected? If you never lied, Linda, what needed to be corrected? Because you're telling me there's a corrected video. I'm a little confused. Oh, we know that's a lie. You were at the hotel with Chase, with Ginger Snap, with Jody. We know that's a lie. There's receipts that prove that's a lie. You were there paying for it, talking to him. I grift. Okay. I grift. Y'all, I've showed how much I've made a million times. I don't make much. The most I've ever made is $400 in 1 month, and that was 3 years ago. I haven't been paid in probably 4 or 5 months. The last little bit of money I made was $100, like, to be exact, a little more. I don't put my Cash Apps, PayPals, Venmos. I think you grift more than I do. She gave money, didn't go to the hotel. Okay, but she was still in contact with Chase, as Chase was moving Jody Sue around. I mean, who did she talk to that they decided she was going to pay for the hotel? I'm not saying you did. I don't know what you did or didn't do. No one's willing to pay for misinformation. No, I don't ask for payment. So much to say. And up until recently, I didn't even monetize my content all that much. Extremely touchy. It's fun, Helen. We could sit here all day and do this. I mean, they're dating my husband, having S with him. Do you see how much fun they are? They make up anything. Right. It doesn't make sense, Linda. None whatsoever. She doesn't want me to play this for some reason, and I don't know what that reason is. So she's over here trolling. But we could sit here all day and let her troll and come back to it when she decides she has to go take care of the children she's supposed to be daycaring. Right? Who's watching the babies, Linda? I'm a scamming piece of shit. I wasn't involved in any of the money stuff. Go find it. Go find where I scammed Pink Bow. Ernie's buddy. She's putting Ernie's thing inside that thing on the nose. She proud of that cartoon picture too. Damn, couldn't you pick the cute one? Like, what the fuck is that shit? Oh, you're retired. You actually retired? But wait, I thought I ruined your life. You sued me for ruining your life. You lost your daycare, but you've actually retired. Thank you for that comment, hooker. She retired. I didn't ruin her life. She's getting a kickback, a retirement. Why can't y'all come up and do this face to face? Let's do it on panel. It's more fun. Who's lying and going back on whose word? I don't have a word to nobody. I work by myself, honey. Oh, she had no choice but to retire. I sent her into retirement. No, honey, if you would have lost your business, you wouldn't be getting a government paycheck for retirement. I don't know what you're getting. That ain't none of my business. You can't retire without getting nothing. So you live on no income. You have absolutely zero zip zilch. You live by yourself. How are you paying rent? Do you have a cardboard box yet? Because I think you deserve one, in my opinion. I ruined her life because I showed a picture with a clown on it. That's all I did. Or I said Linda told B.A. Young she smelled decomposition on Dawn's job site. That's all I did to this woman. Look at what they've done to me. That a clown picture over her face where I'm not doxing somebody. Should I read the court papers again? I've gone over them, but she was actually suing me for not doxing her. Well, my life isn't your business either, but yet y'all are over here calling me names and telling me shit about my husband. And so, I mean, you made your life business just like I did. You put it online. You went to Tiffany Marie. So where is the redacted video to this? What are we redacting? What needed to be changed in this video? Can I ask you that? I've asked a couple times. I'm not telling any lies, Linda. I'm telling what you've told. I'm showing what you've told, what you've said, what you've been involved in. I can't do nothing else about anything. What other people said about you. I wasn't with you. I didn't do the things you did. I've never met you in real life. They're rude, Isabella. This is what goes on over here. You have to ask, why is Linda doing this? Don't you? I'm lying. What am I lying about? What did I lie about? Tell me. Get on here and tell me exactly what my lie was so we can clear it up. I'll be more than happy to clear my lie up with you. You said my son, I didn't say your son was killed by the feds. I said by police. I thought that's what I seen. And that's what I said. There was a news story. If that's not what happened, then please come tell us what happened and I apologize. Didn't nobody say nothing about no damn Fed. So you're lying and making shit up. I didn't bring your son's name into this. You did. You talk about your son on this live. You have come to my chat accusing me of talking about your son in the past, and this is the very first time I ever did. You're the liar. Do you get that? So now we're going to talk about what you said on Tiffany Marie. I did the research for you since you're accusing me of doing it. I do. It's fun. It brings excitement to my life, Karma Queen. I mean, if her son committed a crime, she does. Right? I didn't say you targeted TT with Tim Mullins. What I said was TT said that somebody took pictures of her when she was a child, and she told me that the person resembled Tim Mullen. That's what I said. I said Tim paid Benny, which came out of his own words. And then I said you were announcing, or Benny was announcing your lawsuits before I even got paperwork for him, the day you filed them. That's what I said, Linda. And it connects. So please don't come over here and misconstrue my meanings, because I can tell you what I said and I can show you where it came from. So please show me your receipts. She said it publicly. Now she doesn't want it played, and I'm a bitch, and I need to leave her son's name out of my mouth. You know, I started my live giving her condolences and saying how sad it was. Because not only did she lose her son, but she lost her husband, and she raised her son by herself until she met this Keith and ended up in Tennessee from Washington. That's what I said. I was offering Linda my condolences and willing to go over something she said I lied about. I offered her a link. So if there's something I said that is wrong, please grab a link. Come tell us the truth, and let's listen to the first installment of it that you said needed to be corrected. What needed to be corrected? I'm not listening to the corrected video. What corrected video? Share it. We will listen to it. What needed to be corrected, Linda? You can't even answer that. You're over here making accusations and saying I'm saying lies, but can't even show the truth. Show me the truth, and then you can come over here and do that. Until then, I'm blocking you, and I'm going to go on. Come in under one of your other 100 fucking names. So much to say, you're going to. I'm done with the derailment today. Hold on, I don't know what happened. Pink, ugly nose job. You're gone too. I've had enough. Now, let's get back to where we were before I was being bullied by Linda once again.
Fact that the feds were involved. And they were pissed.
And they know about it. You reported that this happened. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I did report the $500 push that Stacy had made, because it was announced by Scott and Penny and a lot. Then Penny comes in Discord telling me I wasn't supposed to hear that. Scott wasn't supposed to say, that that's why she doesn't trust Scott, it's because he blabs and blah, blah. And I refused the $500, whatever the hell it was, on air. And because Penny was already trying to make me take it in the background. I was like, hell no. And I was like, there's something wrong here. I'm not taking cash from a FBI card team fake person. I know it's fake by this point, right? And that's why I reported that to the feds too. And when it happened, against my will, after they announced it on a live stream, but Scott didn't know what Penny was up to. Scott did not understand the extent. She was keeping a lot of stuff from Scott.
Wow.
And then Q ties herself to Stacy Slay later on.
Harlock?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, Q even put up a post herself that tied her to it. But see, Stacy ends up showing up after I put the post up on my Facebook with some of the conversations from the Discords in it. And her Facebook, and the 3 different pictures for her Facebook and then a fake glamour photo and all these Penny would send in Discord to everybody. And the story always was is that this woman could go from glamorous to no teeth. She actually didn't have any teeth. She could fit.
So was that possibly proof that Linda's also working with Ernie since Pink Bow whatever came in here? And that's Ernie's buddy. And now she's Linda's buddy. You people are so fucking dumb.
Right in with the hillbillies, blah blah. You wouldn't recognize her on the streets, and we're like, yeah, okay, whatever, lady. But it's like the pictures Penny will try to sell you of herself too. They're nothing like what she really looks like, and her background's bullshit. And Penny's also been notorious for hiding in the dark on some live panels and whispering under her breath about me and others as she's drinking and hiding
Or being
like
in
damn,
different places pretending to sleep.
the half boxer robe thing. She's been on quite a few lives like that, hiding in the dark. And all when shit was going on, she was losing viewers.
Penny, I want answers. I know you're listening. I want answers. Penny, I'm not kidding you. You've got 3 different cases and fake FBI agents on 3 different cases that have nothing to do with one another. We've got Linda's son. We got Jody here who had to deal with fake feds for Summer, and Lisa Key for Aaron. The fuck
and
is going on? This is crazy. I've never heard anything like this in my life.
And she was
Jody, I have
telling
to
Linda,
apologize because I really thought at first, I was like, come on, fake feds, like really? Like, I don't know. And now
I mean, it's over there on my Facebook, proof of it. There's proof of Penny talking about it. There's proof of Q being involved in it and Q being dumb enough to tie herself to it. There's proof that they had this going in multiple discords with different people other than Summer. There's proof that they kept doing this repeatedly, and I really think that plays into Chase. I think he was dumb enough to buy that. That's why he was like, oh no, the feds know about this and that and the other. He really thought he was talking to a damn fed, y'all. But it was Penny and them running cons on him, and he was already a con himself. Don't get me wrong. But they very much looked around Summer's case for people around here who had YouTubes already and had iffy, sketchy criminal past, latched onto them, thought the case would be open and closed pretty quick. They could pull a money scheme, it wouldn't be noticed, and then it got deeper and deeper and more money into it. And they all realized money was the thing. And then Chase was dumped off like a bag of kittens.
Helen, I love you. She has so much good stuff she wants me to share all the time. The 7-6, what's it called, Helen? I started going over it, but ended up having to delete my live. I forget what happened. 764 or something. I do want to go over that again. It's important. I never have the time, but always Google the things Helen's telling you to Google because they're interesting. Extremely interesting, and it does need to be spread around. Yeah, 764. Really? I'll definitely look at it. Let me get through the other one first, woman. She's amazing at finding interesting things that need to be shared. Look, there's another one for you. Okay.
On just the billboard thing. I'm telling you, this runs far deep and wide, Tiffany.
I fucking believe you, I believe you, Jody. I'm not doubting. That's why I called for you because when Lisa, I was shocked when I saw what Lisa wrote in my chat, and I'm like, wait a second, fake feds. I'm like, where's Jody Sue? Because
Penny also promised Linda that she would help with her son's fundraiser for his stuff, where he had, the thing with her, she could tell her own story. But
Penny was helping Linda fundraise for her son who passed away in 2005. This is 2021. What was Penny helping you fundraise for, Linda? Just curious.
Had promised help for her and to make certain content to get answers for his case, and never did so either. But yeah.
So Linda came to YouTube wanting money.
This is insane.
She wanted the
Hold on,
fundraise.
let me add Lisa. She's back. Let me see. Hopefully her thing is working.
Oh,
Lisa.
and let's not forget that at the vigil, they didn't want me to be there for
They
some
didn't want
vigil
you to go.
reasons.
Yep.
They didn't want me to go, and
Okay, so Jody in the live, and I'll show that when we're done with Tiffany Marie's live. It's a 6-hour live. We're going to be here a while. But you had a live where you said it was for your safety not to go. You said they didn't want you to go because of your safety. She did state that they did not want her to go to the vigil, so she ended up not going. But she had intentions on going, and I have that live.
he said it wouldn't be good for my face to be out there. I'm like, what the F? Okay, well, I wasn't planning on interviewing with the news or nothing. What the hell do you mean? And then notice he didn't show his face. They accidentally caught Ginger Snap's face in there, and then she disappeared over some fake decoration nonsense. But then that's about the time.
Yep, I know. Yeah.
And that was about the time that
I believe that was with TT. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look. Me and TT spoke about that. But I also believe Nita had a hand in the decoration shit. Freaking weird. Why fight about decorations at a horse pond? You should just go there with candles, pray, say a few little words, and leave. Not make a spectacle, collect money, have a party.
had accidentally the messages that I have proof of that are posted on my Facebook over there. He's very much told me that he had told Chase to do handoffs in between the P.O. box that was siphoning money in and gift cards and shit. Apparently, even for the kids and I, in the thousands and thousands and thousands. But to get handoffs because he was worried about it.
I need to confirm.
Well, guess who the handoff people were?
I don't know.
Well, they were the hippie chick and they were Ginger Snap. And then Ginger Snap falls off the map, and Chase accidentally outs them.
Mine too.
Benny outs them by saying he's the one that's ordered the handoffs in between. And all of that ties back into everything around that period with the fake card team, FBI, the fake phone call that, with Chase that had with you, but somehow a week prior to that, that's how he got busted. A week prior to you saying anything, I had already had on my Facebook, I was already pissed and had already outed them for the same exact thing he then later told you and you recorded and reported to the FBI. But somehow a week before that, I already knew because he had tried to use it as a form. Penny, and Keys had tried to use it as a form of blackmail for me to shut up for a week. And he said a week specifically, and I couldn't figure out what the week timeline was. Turns out it was the starting of the second con fundraiser they were going to do overseas, and I was already fucking up the first one over here. And they wanted me to shut up so it wouldn't screw up either. And they were trying to feed me that. They were trying to feed me that line about summer being taken and the feds knew and all this. And I think maybe Chase really was dumb enough to think that he was really messing around with a real fed. And you also got to think. I mean, you know what Chase sent me in the background, at least part of it. And I think,
Jody, I think it's time you show you and Chase's conversations. All of them. All the shit sent in the background because everybody else has showed their interactions with Chase. A lot of people have. I would like to see yours scrolled through top to finish. Can you do that? I bet you won't.
This is wild, man.
either there's something really real going on where CM's got people being followed. McDonough is following people on the ground and he's using people out here to do that. Or, that's something else. I
Not
don't
about
know, but
something.
you know what part of that is. And that they're trying to involve you in that stuff. And
And I feel like they were trying to take Dave Rader out and bring Nita Diver in. I still have to cover that. I have so much stuff I need to cover that I've been unable to cover for the past 2 years because you see why. It just happened in my chat. The attacks are real. They don't stop. This has a lot more than Linda information in it. And for Linda to come over here and try to stop me from showing this, that's a problem. Especially when I'm giving her the condolences and trying to get the true story about her son out. And then to come over here and say, well, this needed corrected, put the real video out. I asked her several times for the real video. I asked her to come up on panel, shared a link with her, asked her to come correct any misinformation I have, and she couldn't do it. The attacks kept coming. So if y'all want to agree with that, you go ahead. But as you see, Ernie's people were in the chat with her defending her. That's odd. And they always come in under new names that we've never seen before, right? Why can't you come in here under a name so that we know who you are? I'm not scared of you, Linda, or your people, whoever they may be. Please understand that. These are your words, not mine, and I'm done with the trolling. I am going to save this live. You can't strike me for playing Tiffany Marie's content that you put out publicly. You chose to come on this panel and talk. I didn't force you. I wasn't even a creator yet. Oh, yeah, I was. This was in April. Yes, I was. But I wasn't a creator when all this shit went on with the billboards. Now, was I? However, you were behind the scenes playing with Jody Sue and Chase and so many others. And I just watched it. And now I'm showing it. Because I caught on to your bullshit. Bitch. Retire my ass.
then you have Penny playing this game continually with this fake fit over and over and over again. And
Hello.
let me tell you that after they threatened me, then Penny was like, oh no, she put me into a Discord with a fake Chris McDonough, trying to get my story typed out.
That's right.
Yep. And then in between here and there, what she also did was she had so that was another way of trying to get all the information from me, right? And they promised lie detector tests, they promised sketch artists, none of that happened.
That's
And then they couldn't get all the info from me by 2 or 3 days in the hotel too, let's not forget. And then at the end of it, what I'm offered is like the 1-800 number for domestic violence, which I didn't need anyway. Hell, I was safer than that bullshit, right? It never made any sense. And then they tried to eat me alive and be like, oh, she was an.
Listen, guys, I took my medicine this morning. I have to run to the bathroom and refill my coffee. Oh, awesome. I would love to see that, Helen. I believe she was told by Ellie Shea not to use their sketch artist. And then Penny went behind the scenes. Like, there are some things I do stick up for Jody Sue for. However, I don't think Jody Sue's innocent, and I think they fucked with her more after she was pissed off about not getting her money. You hear her talk about there was for the thousands in the P.O. box, right? But here's the thing, Shay. I listened. That's what I was explaining last night. I was on the phone with her when she was on the phone with a court-appointed person. I heard the conversation. And, I mean, Jody does tell some truths. I just don't know where the truths lie with her. because she also tells lies surrounding Summer's disappearance, in my opinion. I don't know if they're lies. We don't. Only law enforcement can figure that out, but they haven't been arrested. That's the way I look at it. I see Jody as she was greedy at the beginning and maybe got in a little too deep, playing games for money, and then realized she was being scammed. Or it could be she is 100 totally percent involved based off of what I just showed of Linda with the 13-hour call where she had accounts where she trolled in favor of Jody Sue under them names. Linda was part of a research team with people who didn't like Jody Sue and were pounding on Jody Sue. Linda writes me while Jody Sue's writing me at the same exact time. Everywhere they go together. I bet that could be possible. Show it. I'd love to see it. It's not hearsay, though, Chicklet. That's what you're not understanding. These are their own words. They're not mine. I wasn't involved in this. I'm just showing you what they said and giving you my opinion. Everybody has an opinion on everything on this earth. These ain't my words. These are words coming straight from these people. Not me. Hi, Winged. How are you today, honey? Okay, let's put this back on.
Ungrateful bitch, whatever. We put her in a hotel room. It's like, no, you
Bathroom.
were trying to comment because Ginger Snap tried to say she came all the way from Gatlinburg up here and her hair was still wet. She was in smash. The bank she supposedly worked for didn't even exist. She had her little license for real estate on hold too, and all that garbage because she didn't pay student. All of them had some sort of financial issues or legal issues occurring, like 423, Ginger Snap. It was some form. I mean, it's dark and deep, Tiff.
Well, it sounds like it. Yeah, Ginger Snap was the one that did the decorations for the vigil. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Lisa, can you hear me?
Yes.
Make sure she can hear me. Lisa?
Yeah. Yes.
Can you hear me okay? Okay. I have Jody up here. She dealt with a very similar situation. Do you want to tell us what happened to you?
Actually, I haven't kept up with a lot of this, but Linda Lorraine, I listened to her show, or when she was on the show, the reason she came on was because about her son was because she didn't want the same the detective that had handled her son's case had been promoted to the TBI, and he was handling the Summer Wells case, and Linda did not want anything to happen in Summer's case that had happened to her sons. That was what I was saying. And then
Linda left out that part of the story with that it was promoted to Summer's head agent.
Okay.
So Linda left that part out. Okay. That might have been to maybe protect her son.
Well, this was...
No, Tiffany. What she said was she didn't want Summer's head agent on Summer's case, and she was trying to cause drama in Summer's case to get this man to leave Summer's case because she didn't like him in her son's case from 2005 when he was a detective. That's what this woman just said. So that's where Linda interfered in Summer's case directly with her TBI agents. trying to get them off of Summer's case. She wanted the man, she's allowing this woman to get up here and say she didn't want Summer's TBI agent on Summer's TBI case because of her son. So that's how her son plays into this. What lies am I telling, Linda? What don't you want people to hear? You involved your son in Summer's case, not me, ma'am, bitch, cunt.
This hadn't been too awful long ago that Penny had sent out a TBI, well, not TBI, FBI agent. They made a bunch of fake promises to her. They sat and watched her house. It scared her to death. She didn't trust nobody. And we had tried to get her to.
So Penny sent a fake FBI agent to Linda. That's what this lady's saying, to sit and watch her house. Well, how could that be when Linda's the one answering the fake FBI and TBI agents an email? So Linda's going to this lady who is actually grieving her son and making up stories, and this lady gets on panel with Tiffany Marie sticking up for what she thinks is her friend while Linda's telling lies. But I'm making up stories and spreading false truths, and I didn't put the corrected video out. What needs to be corrected, Linda? You get up on this panel. We're going to listen.
Talk about her story in the Tennessee's dark hole. She actually let me tell it, but she wasn't ready to trust somebody again. And, I can understand, you don't know who to trust. But Linda had sat on her son's story for years. She suffered in her own private hell. And then to have some.
And then when Summer's case comes out, she decides she doesn't want Summer's TBI agent to be her TBI agent. So she's going to do everything she can to stop this TBI agent from working on Summer's case, according to Lisa Key.
Send somebody out and they're using her son. That enrages me. That make me choke the hell out of the bitch.
That's something else that seems rather copycat, because Linda never said anything to me about people stalking her, sitting outside her house, but we very much did have.
In Tennessee right now, there's a lot of cover-ups, and I mean they're big. And the one in the 13th district in Tennessee is fixing to explode all over the place. The billboards up in that district, they're wanting it took down, and Linda is in this Tennessee's dark hole and is going to tell her story. Actually, Chris Ferrier is going to interview her.
Who's Chris Ferrier?
You said something about the billboards. What about the billboards? Is there something going on with billboards?
Oh, you haven't seen it? It's called Cookeville, Tennessee's murder billboard. It's got 14 faces on it. My son's one of them. Johnny Cash's great niece, Courtney Cash, is one of them.
Jody is.
Lauren Agee, she's one of them. And they're all these together is tied to a DA that won't prosecute anybody. And that billboard is starting to, it's going all over the country. There's a lot of stuff that's coming. It's getting a lot of attention, which is exactly what we needed. There's a lawsuit in this district where a boy was killed in the Overton County Sheriff's Department, and there's 12 officers named in this lawsuit, plus the county.
Okay, I think we're missing the point. This is around Summer's case and several others, and we're all far off into like right field with Johnny Cash and conspiracy theories. And I'm not going to be part of conspiracy theories. I have a
This
feeling,
is not
Linda,
about no
no offense,
conspiracy.
no
It's
offense,
not
but I have,
about conspiracy.
I'm gonna play
Would
the
I
you
have a
please
really,
just let me
I'm
talk?
not going
That's
to yell
all I'm
over you, lady.
Hold on.
You ain't
Hold on.
raised right. I'm not going to yell over you. But what I am going to say is I have a very real feeling that Linda herself is involved in this because the other day she was in my inbox fishing for
Oh, you're
bullshit.
full of
This is
shit.
not the first time that she's been
Oh
fishing
my
for
God.
stuff to see if
Okay.
there's real shit being done.
Oh,
So I'm not going to
Linda
say.
is not fake.
Look, all right, yell at yourself. Bye bye now. Have a good
I'll
day.
see you later then. Oh, you're there.
Wait a minute. So what I think might be going on here. Okay.
Linda is not fake. Her son,
Right.
the sheriff in Washington County sealed her son's casket shut where she could not even say goodbye to her son. How does a sheriff get that much power? This is not fake. I speak to Linda. I have her personal phone.
I don't think Jody Sue was saying that. Lind, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that Jody Sue was saying that.
Look at the ignorant shit. What's so wrong with it is the TBI hired the guy. And when you're trying to cause the TBI agent in a missing child's case, he was a sheriff then. He was promoted to TBI. So that means that agent deserved that job. And it's not Linda's job to decide whether the police did their job on her son's case when she's not even coming out and telling the truth about her own son's case. As you see, she's sitting here saying the sheriff took her son and didn't let her say bye to him and all this other shit. Now, I would appreciate if you'd quit using my face, but since you're back in here trolling, I'm going to ignore these now, and we're just going to ban them. Okay? Plus, her son's case happened in 2005, and Summer went missing in 2021. She had no right to not only be messing with the TBI agent, but going to Dawn's work site and making claims of smelling decomposition. And then trying to silence somebody from showing this live and others with lawsuits. Yep. She can't show proof because she's lying.
Linda is fake. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
I think-
Linda's, yeah, that's what she's saying, but you can go and find the boy's death notice. Linda is not fake. I don't know what Jody's thing is with saying she is,
Well,
but
Jody's
Linda's not fake.
very frustrated right now, rightfully so. Listen, if anybody knows about the bullshit, Jody's she's dealt with a lot of bullshit. But the thing is, what you came in here talking about, Lisa, is very much so something that Jody Sue has dealt with now.
I understand that.
I will.
I think I almost ended it here, I think. But I think this is where she'll talk a little bit about the billboard. But before she does that, let me show you the billboard. Linda's son is not on this billboard.
Well, if you drive through Cookeville, you may see an unusual billboard. It contains the faces of murdered or missing people.
And behind every one of those faces, there are family members who tell us they are victims of inadequate investigations. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier.
Lisa Key's son is on the bottom in the middle with the black hat. Where'd I go?
Has the story in tonight's Ferrier Files Fight for Justice.
The cases are all different. They spread out over decades, but they have something in common. They have a connection to District Attorney Brian Dunaway and the accusation that he has failed them.
It was a tough meeting. It's not easy to talk about the worst thing that ever happened to your family.
I can't do it right now.
It's hard to hold back the tears and rage when you feel like you still don't have justice. The family of murder victim Courtney Cash was upset evidence was destroyed instead of collected. They also feel the DA's office was protecting a strong suspect in exchange for his testimony.
We walked in his office. We were not even asked to sit down. And he stood up and he said, Austin Johnson is a victim and a witness. End of story. And we were dismissed.
Ken Young says he was shown the talk to the hand gesture.
I've never been dismissed like that by anybody in my adult life. Ever.
Terry Sullivan died 13 years ago. No one has ever been charged, despite what the family believes is a very strong lead. The family says DA Dunaway gave them a completely unacceptable answer when they asked for a case update.
His response to us was,
I literally just searched a little tiny bit before I came live, Linda. So I'm not sure what the outcome or anything was, but this is definitely something I think we should look into. I believe that this lady, Lisa Key, and Johnny Cash's niece and other people do need justice for their children if this DA was doing crazy shit. However, this isn't even the part of Tennessee that Linda or her child comes from. This was closer to Nashville. And what this shows me is Linda just getting involved with more families of missing and murdered and hurt people. So you have to question why. Why does Linda follow these people and pray at them in their hearts?
well, that happened before I was elected. That was it.
Brooke Jolly says that doesn't even make sense. It's not how responsibility works.
I've worked in a restaurant before, and if you're the server that comes in on second shift, you don't look at the tables of customers sitting there and say, well, I'm not going to do anything about these. They were here before my shift. And that's how he treats his job as district attorney.
Jason Rice was hit and killed by a speeding driver who left the scene of the accident. His mom, Rosemary Moore, says she begged DA Dunaway to charge the driver with something.
He wasn't legally drunk. There's really nothing we can do. It's a tragic accident. I said, well, if he was driving without a license. He left the scene. He said, well, leaving the scene is not.
And let me remind you that I cover from time to time a case about a girl named Kayleen from here in Pittsburgh. And we have the same problems with our district attorney, or Steven Zappella. I don't think it's our DA. He might be. But there's a lot of freaking issues where they won't bring up charges for this guy, Michael Morano. So this is similar to that. And this goes on all over the country. If you haven't followed my Kayleen information, please go search my YouTube for Kayleen. Oling, I believe is her last name. But it's very similar, where the district attorney doesn't bring charges and this guy is clearly guilty. Like, he was the last seen with her walking across the bridge. They found him behind his uncle's property or something. They found Kayleen years later after she was missing. So I understand this, and I would understand this from Linda, but what I don't understand is why Linda is playing games in these people's cases. Like, I do have sympathy for Linda for the loss of her child and the many tragedies in her life. However, that's not a reason to become a tragedy pimp or to hunt victims. And to me, in my opinion, I'm speculating that's what Linda does. She hunts victims, and she has been obsessed with true crime, in my opinion, since her son's death. And when you're calling and trying to get TBI agents off of Summer Wells' case, there's a fucking problem. Mind your business and let them solve this little girl's case. Stay out of it. Don't go on the property of Dawn Wells' job site saying you smell decomposition. You're sick. In my opinion.
A crime in the state of Tennessee to leave the scene of an accident. And I said, well, he was speeding. He was reckless. If he would have been going the speed limit, my son would be alive, 30 miles an hour. He said, well, what do you want me to do? Give him a speeding ticket? They said it was.
Monica Kayson's brother, Brandon Hood, died of a drug overdose, but his watch, phone, gold necklace, and shoes were stolen from his body in the apartment where he died.
This one.
Kaysen wanted the apartment owner, convicted drug dealer Sarah Underwood, to be thoroughly questioned about the overdose and theft. Kaysen says she couldn't believe what an assistant DA told her.
She won't tell us anything. I said, well, she is a known dealer. You know this. Why won't you do something? Well, she's lawyered up. And?
Kaysen asked, when does having a lawyer stop an investigation? She admits she was enraged and emotional and threatened to go after Underwood herself. She said that was met with sarcasm.
He looks at me and he says, well, Monica, I believe, he said, you've never been in trouble. I believe you're a good candidate for pretrial diversion. What does that say?
We asked District Attorney Bryant Dunaway for responses in each case. He told us he would consider responding if we allowed him to speak unedited. We told him he could respond in an email, and we would put the entire email response online with the story. There are other stories in this room, every bit as heartbreaking, every bit as incomplete, every bit as soul-shattering. They are the stories behind the billboard just off the interstate in Cookeville. The pain behind all of these photos, a deep black hole that can only be filled with justice.
All of us here are a member of a club. We shouldn't have to be. There's no reason for us to be if they were doing their jobs.
Each one of these stories is so compelling, we're going to do complete investigations into each one of them. It's going to take some time, but these folks are used to waiting. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Putnam County District Attorney Bryant Dunaway, got back with Fox 17 News a few hours ago. He offered a lengthy and detailed explanation about each case, and you can find his unedited response at our website, fox17.com.
Well, how does a man go from being obsessed
Are you kidding? Are you telling me I read all that and I was fucking muted? No. Okay. I'll start over. Damn it. You gotta pinch me or something. Blow air horns. I can't see them from another screen. I do that all the time. I did so good too, and I went so far in that. I apologize. You could all put the laughy faces. I deserve it. All right. Damn it. Do you see how much I read? That sucks. We were waving. Damn it. Okay. The Cookeville billboards, Tennessee unsolved murders. Emma B. Lantry updated September 21st, 2023. One of the so-called murder billboards located in Cookeville, Tennessee, where a number of unsolved cases have haunted residents. The Cookeville billboards. Cookeville, Tennessee is the most populated city in the 13th Judicial District of Tennessee since February 2022. A macabre billboard has been looming over a busy intersection, reminding locals in the area of numerous unsolved murder cases. Each story is very different, but they all have one thing in common. Their families believe that foul play was involved and that law enforcement did not properly investigate the cases. Yeah, that has nothing to do with it. The families hope billboards will attract new attention to the stories of their loved ones, many whom remain missing. Lauren Agee, 21, was found dead at Center Hill Lake in Smithville, Tennessee. Lauren Agee was a 21-year-old science major when she went to attend a wakeboarding competition with a group of friends. The group camped at Center Hill Lake in Smithville, Tennessee, where the competition was being held. On the morning of July 26, 2015, Lauren's friends awoke and discovered that she was missing. Later that same day, Lauren's body was found floating in a small cove area of the lake. According to the coroner's report, Lauren's death was caused by blunt force trauma and possibly drowning. Police believe that Lauren, who had been drinking, had accidentally fallen off a cliff in the middle of the night, as it's not far from the campsite. Lauren's parents believe that the friends of Lauren at the campsite acted suspiciously. They have decided to pursue a wrongful death suit against three of the people who were with Lauren that night. Brandon Hood, 41, was found dead at an apartment where he had been attending a party on August 6, 2020. The cause of death was an accident drug overdose. However, his belongings had been stolen from his person before authorities arrived. Charges were never filed in a death or for the theft of property. When pressed by family members, the local district attorney had continuously refused to pursue or question the owner of an apartment. Joseph Parker Jr., found dead in Jackson County, Tennessee. Joseph Parker Jr. Was found deceased with three. This one's crazy, man. I just read this. Joseph Parker Jr. was found deceased with three other teenagers in the Sugar Creek area of Jackson County, Tennessee in 2002. The friends had spent the night in a trailer, which was found burned the next morning. Although the case is now cold, their parents still long for answers regarding the deaths of their children. There's a news article that could be found in May of 2022. I'll share the link to this news report if you want to go read the longer. It does sound like cotton, doesn't it? The first one. I thought that too. But it's far from cotton, and it's a girl. It's a different circumstance. Okay. Jason Rice. Jason Rice was 29 years old when he became a victim of a tragic hit-and-run accident while crossing the street in Cookeville, Tennessee, in May 2016. The driver of the car, Emmanuel Robinson, hit Jason so hard it shattered the windshield of the vehicle. Robinson later returned to the scene and admitted that he had been drinking earlier that day before hitting Jason Rice from behind while he was walking down the street of North Dixie Avenue. Robinson's BAC results were below the legal limit and no charges were filed against him. Jason's family have pleaded with the district attorney, Bryant Dunway, to bring the case before the grand jury. Brian Dunway has spoken with local news stations and insisted there's no crime to prosecute. This girl, Caitlin Ledbetter, let's keep her face out because she's still missing. We're going to read about this case in a minute. In May 2021, Caitlin Ledbetter was 27 years old when she disappeared from her father's home in Hillman, Overton County, Tennessee, and was never seen again. Since her disappearance, not only did her father's house burn to the ground, but the only other person present when Caitlin disappeared perished in the flames. Crystal Tyson is dead, and Caitlin is still missing. Many suspect her father, Scott Ledbetter, could be more involved than police have cared to investigate. You can read more about Caitlin Ledbetter's story here. Megan Hendrickson, missing from Cookeville, Putnam County, Tennessee since September 2021. There was a lot of people in Putnam County, young women going missing. The same year Summer went missing. Megan Hendrickson. Megan Hendrickson was in the care of Tennessee Department of Children's Services when she went missing on September 2021 from Bloomington Springs area near Cookeville, Tennessee. She still has not been found. Let's show her picture. Beautiful young women. Megan Hendrickson was in the care of Tennessee Department Children's Services when she went missing September 2021 from the Bloomington Springs area of Cookeville, Tennessee. She has still not been found. Tennessee DCS has also faced major scrutiny in recent years, with news stations reporting in December 2022 that the department is in a state of crisis. If you have information regarding Megan's disappearance, please contact the Putnam County Sheriff's Department. I scrolled through this before I brought it live. There's actually a case I covered on my first channel that's involved in this billboard, and I can't even reach out to his brother. I had become a little bit of friends with his brother, and I was still able to keep up with information. I know at one time the family, and we'll get to it, his name was Josh. But at one time, the family suspected the girlfriend because she was with him when he went missing in a park in Tennessee. I don't think anybody was ever arrested in Josh's case. So that's why this really brought my attention, because I absolutely covered Josh's case, and he's going to be on this list as we scroll down. Okay, Megan Bowling. Megan Bowling was 35 years old when she was reported missing by her family in Kentucky on July 8th, 2021. Law enforcement in Salina, Tennessee discovered Megan's car and at the home of Andy Cruia, Cruea. When police entered the residence, they found Megan's body lying on a sofa. A medical examiner confirmed that she had been deceased for multiple days. Beautiful. Andy Cruia was arrested that same day and later indicted on just one count of failure to report the discovery of a body and placed on $2,000 cash bond. No further charges have been brought against Cruia in relation to Megan's death. You can read more about Megan's story here. So, like I said, I shared the link. Anybody who wants to read their stories. Emily Christopher. Early in the morning of March 31st, 2020, Emily maybe, Ann Christopher, 19, was found dead. Her car, this is the wrong picture. Oh no, maybe that's her. That's her. Emily was found dead in her car at a grocery store in Livingston, Tennessee. Local police were alerted to the scene by a passenger in a car who called to report Emily had stopped breathing. No other updates have been released regarding Emily's death. You can read more about Emily's case here. Parker Colin Morris, 27, of Crossville, Tennessee. Since Tuesday, September 18th, Parker Morris was first reported missing. Let's show his picture in case he's still missing. That's Parker. Wow. I don't know what you guys are looking at. Okay. Parker Colin Morris, 27, missing from Crossville, Tennessee, September 2018. Parker Morris was first reported missing from Crossville, Tennessee in 2018. The investigation conducted by Cumberland County Police Department yielded little to no information, and the public knows even less about his disappearance. Only 27 years old at the time of his disappearance, Parker was a loving father and grateful to have the support of both his mother and father. He was last seen walking down Webb Avenue in Crossville, Tennessee on October 18, 2018 by a friend. He was reported missing a few days later. It was also reported that not long after the investigation began, Parker's car was found at a home near Crossville, Tennessee. Claims have been made that the person living at the residence had previously held Parker at gunpoint for debt owed in the past. All of this information is speculative, as no updates by Cumberland County Sheriff's Department have been given to the public regarding Parker Morris's disappearance. Click here to read more about the disappearance of Parker Colin Morris. Here's Johnny Cash's niece. Not a conspiracy, Jody. That was extremely rude when a woman was trying to come on Tiffany's panel and get her point across. No matter if Linda was out there or not, this is a real story. And in my opinion, it's Linda involving herself in another billboard scheme. We'll donate. We'll collect. I'd like to know how far Linda went. How many of these families Linda spoke to? I'd like to know how deep she is involved with whatever this is. There's a lawsuit that they'll mention in the live. Sadly, the word is, if you want your kids disappeared, move to Tennessee. In my opinion, Sheriff Craddock's and Sebastian's case is as crooked as F. He would prefer to call Grape a snuggle struggle. It's on his Facebook. You know, there's some other stuff I've seen in Tennessee too, where there's a sheriff's department that's involved in kids stuff. I can't remember the details around it, but there's a lot going on in Tennessee that people don't hear about. We're going to continue in a minute. I need a break. How about this? Let's listen to Tiffany for a few minutes and then I'll come back to this and read the rest of these. I need something to drink in my coffee and a cigarette. I'm just going to take a break because it's a lot of reading and I don't know how far down I am. And I want to make sure I read each of these. So let me put Tiffany back on for 5-10 minutes and then we'll come back to this. Because they talk more about the billboard anyway.
I would love for you guys to be able to have open communication and try to understand one another. And maybe right now might just be an off time and it's a lot to take in, because even I'm like sitting back, like this is extremely confusing,
All
You know,
all I'm trying to get across is I know
You're
for a
fine.
fact Linda Lorraine is not fake by any means. Dennis Farrier is actually going to tell Linda's story, a reporter out of Channel 17
Are you
News.
sure that Linda Lorraine is legit? I'm asking you because
Yes, ma'am. 100%.
Post-it note, are you Linda? Can you come up here?
Can I ask a favor of you guys? Because I no longer have a Facebook and I can't get one. Can one of you find this Lisa Key from Crossville, Tennessee for me on Facebook? Point her to my channel and ask her if she would interview with me about her son and about this with Linda, if her and Linda are still friends today. I'd really be curious to know. I'd like to know how Linda got involved in these billboards all the way in Nashville, near Nashville. I'm real curious. Yes, her name's Lisa Key, Key. And thank you to whoever writes her for me.
Because I don't want any kind of issues to come from this. I want it to be resolved, and I want there to be transparency.
I've never had nothing to do with Jody Sue. I don't know her. I don't watch her.
I know.
I don't have time.
Yeah, it's all completely separate cases, different cases.
Yes, ma'am. But only, like I said, Jody, this is my opinion. You can't get a word in edgewise, and I mean no disrespect. The only reason I come on here was to let people know what Penny had done to Linda. That's the only reason. I didn't come to argue with Jody. I'm not going to argue. Let me say what I know, and I'm good. But when you can't, to say it, calling the woman fake, the woman's not fake. I've checked her story inside and out.
Well, the thing is, Lisa, I don't know Linda. I don't know who Linda is, and I'm not saying she's fake. I believe you that she's a real person. Yeah,
she is.
But there's something not right, and Jody Sue is picking up that there's something isn't right. Jody Sue's got a good sniffer on her. She's not by any means a dumb person. She can really pinpoint the bullshit. You know what I mean? So I think you two could probably learn a lot from one another, but it would take some patience. You know what I mean? And Jody's been through a lot. She's dealt with a lot of fake. She's dealt with a lot of phony. She's been dicked around. She's been drugged through the mud. She's had people play a lot of pranks on her. And you know how you said that your friend Linda had people outside the house? Jody Sue has dealt with the same kind of thing. So
I remember when Jody Sue, I got to watch a little of it, and but the thing is, like this billboard in the 13th district, I ain't trying to take anything away from anybody. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. You're going to have to put evidence in front of me. I don't buy. I'm like her. I don't trust nobody. But in this 13th district, I could tell you what's happening, and I was dumbfounded when I found out, and I keep praying it ain't true. I pray with everything in me that it isn't true. There's just a lot of real ugly, and I guess that's why it's got the highest crime rate in the state of Tennessee. Tennessee's considered one of the most corrupt states in America. And you go in and look at their judicial system, how they run their cases, you'll see it. You've got 5th, 6th, 7th, 8-time offenders. Heavyweight drug dealers. They plea bargain to first offense. Whereas that allows money to be took off the books, like first offense. You know, there's a lot to what's going on in the 13th, and this big lawsuit this Hargis family filed is gonna open up a whole lot, and it's stuff they don't want to open. I mean,
So I was looking into the Harvest family a little bit. I don't know if I found the right thing, but that has something to do with DHS, Child Protective Services. And you heard her say earlier something about a lawsuit that was being filed for a family for the child that was unalived in state's care. But she said in a lockup setting. So that could be a group home setting. I don't know. And I still got to read those things, but I want you guys to finish listening. I want to smoke my cigarette. We're going to listen a few more minutes. I'm going to keep going through those names, though. I want you to hear about the other billboards that Linda was involved in with this lady, Lisa Key. And I do absolutely believe Lisa Key has done her research from what I'm seeing. And to me, it looks like Linda may have been reaching out to these families of this billboard.
stuff that goes back 50 years. And I have nothing against Jody Sue, but all I wanted to do was tell what Linda Lorraine, what had been done to her. That is it.
That's what I was just talking about, Marion. That's exactly what I was just talking about when I said there was another police department, Millersville. That's it. I'd love to go over that one day. It's interesting.
I don't set in judgment of anybody, but I don't think anybody should use, I'll just tell you straight, somebody do me like they done her, use my son, I'm coming. I'm coming, and ain't nothing can stop me. I heard a lot of what's went down, and it's like, sometimes it's like Summers got lost in all of it. And, it tears me apart that little girl hadn't got home yet. But my child's gone.
I know,
And,
Lisa, I'm very, yeah, I know.
And I don't know what's going on between you and Jason, but she's never abandoned me. And it's none of my business.
Yeah, no,
I
please don't feel that anything going on with me and chasing justice is anything you need to worry about. Don't even worry about that. It's totally okay. No problem.
No, wait a minute. This lady with her son on a billboard also knows chasing justice. Who says she's not Kelly Fustos, but Tiffany's calling her Kelly. And right before I went live, I know she's watching. Because right before I went live, she was commenting on last night's live, saying she wasn't Fustos. I've invited her a couple times now during this live and in the comment section to come up, show us who she is, and tell us her story with Tiffany. She hasn't accepted my invite. But she's also involved with Lisa Key, whose son is on this billboard.
Problem at all. Don't even worry about that. It has nothing to do. Not at all.
I want
It's
you and her to get back on terms, but my son will come up out of the ground eventually, and she's going to volunteer to stand with him where he don't have to be alone for me. So she hasn't abandoned me, but I
know she's very good to you.
She is. Mm-hmm. I've had a long, hard fight, and I thought about getting justice for myself. And if it wasn't for his kids, that's exactly what I'd do. I'd burn in hell for it, but there'd be a lot of people safe out there then. It's not just about Aaron. It's not that. There's too many lives at stake, too many future generation children at stake. And Courtney Cash is Johnny Cash's great niece. She's part of the 13th district that's on that billboard. I'll send you a link to the billboard. I can post it in here, or if Ashley's still on here, she can post it. That's the only way, one voice can't change nothing. Even if I get his death ruling overturned, I can't change nothing. It's not going to change what's going on. And but you get a bunch together, they can. And Linda come into the group. She's a mama warrior too. And I think I know she's not fake. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. And I can't imagine anybody that heard her interview could even think she was. But I haven't got.
So Linda, this lady is part of a group. I think it was called I Was Looking For It. If you go into this chat where Chris Larson's holding a wrench, he says he knows Lisa Key. Lisa Key's from Tennessee. His wife is missing, Rose Bly. Lisa knows Linda, and now Lisa knows Chasing Justice. And it seemed to me like Tiffany didn't even know Chasing Justice and Linda would know each other. Tiffany's calling Chasing Justice Kelly, as in Kelly Fustos, possibly, because she also mentioned the lawsuit that we've recently spoke about and people confirmed in my chat. But here's another group with billboards and where there's YouTubers, and now this lady with a unalived son. She wants answers, but these YouTubers are also wanting answers for her son, and Linda's involved in this group because she wants justice for her child, which is fine. Except for you can't go to Summers' TBI agent and try to get him kicked off Summers' case because you don't like what the police did in your son's case. You can't do that. You can't come out to YouTube. That's your motive, Linda. You want to cause problems in Summers' case because you don't like her TBI agent. So you decided to play bat games with everybody, all the creators and the family in Summers' case. I mean, that's a bit odd. Don't you think so?
Problems with nobody but the people that killed my son and the bunch in this 13th district. The detective that investigated Aaron's death died of COVID. The man owned the house where he was killed. He died. So it seems karma's starting to run. But you guys, all of you give the little people voices, and we need them because this whole country is in distress because of a.
Do we know exactly who Music City Mom is yet? Because she played a lot of fuck shit in this shit. Now y'all got me questioning the Nashville area. Maybe Knoxville isn't where we should be looking, and maybe that's a diversion and distraction. Because what's really funny? I think Henderson County or something. Where is that? Is that Knoxville or Nashville? Because do you know that when Jose and the fight went on October 14th with Candace and Dawn, that Allison was arrested for drunk driving in another county? Hunter's mom. Sebastian's close to Nashville. Where's Music City Mom at these days? Where you at? Want to grab a link? How'd you get involved in Summer's case? Holler, you're from that area. I'd love to talk to you about this. Right here. This billboard. Lady R, your little attack yesterday was pretty funky, huh? Or the day before, whatever day that was. Right. You bring your child's tragedy to YouTube, and then you're offended because I want to share it. What is the problem with that?
Corrupt judicial system. And Tennessee, you can look at it. Baby, it was a little girl was raped in West Tennessee. They didn't even.
Especially when you're using your son's case to get Summer's TBI agent off of her case, right? Just saying. You brought Summer into your son's case with this live right here, where Lisa Key told the story you told her.
She was 3 years old. They didn't get.
Story was also that TBI agents, there were fake TBI and FBI or whatever agents coming to you. But then we find out after this live that you were actually intercepting the emails from those fake agents. Stacy Slay. So how could that possibly be, Linda? What's your end game here, lady? What kind of games are you playing?
In my jail time. That's how bad Tennessee is. So I guess I'll step back and yeah, I would love to tell a lot of the stuff I found on Aaron's story if you ever decide you want me to, but no, I have no problem with Jody Sue. I just wanted to say, you know, what had happened. You know, I mean, Linda Lorraine, it happens to, you know, people call and tell you there's somebody they're not. And, you know, I've had that happen. I turn right around and call them back. You know, there's easy ways to do it. But my gut instincts always serve me right, and I listen to it. And I understand Jody Sue has been through a lot. She really has. But conspiracy theories, I ain't got no place for them in my life because these ain't conspiracies. They're shady, underhanded, disgusting acts between adults in our justice system. And something's, you know, if we don't change it now, we don't got a shot to change it again. You know, that's the way it is.
Well, it takes a lot to fix, you know, crooked government or whatnot, but it can be done, you know, if you have the right contacts and such. But Lisa, do you know, if I can, I know a lot of people in the chat really want to know about the fake federal agent stuff. Jody Sue is upset. Please stop asking for Jody Sue to come back on in the chat. She did not want to stay. She wanted to get down. Let her do what she needs to do. She will come back when she wants to. Okay. Jody Sue wanted to remove herself. People need to do what is healthy for them. She's not here. She's not in the chat. She's not on my panel. Let her be. If she wants to come back, she can come back. She knows where it is. Stop asking. No. So, anyways,
I didn't mean to solve all these problems for you. I really don't.
No, you're fine. I didn't go. I went live to talk about something completely different, but the live stream took a completely different turn, which is totally fine. I don't mind at all. Obviously, it's something that needed to come out, and it's something that needed to be discussed. I was shocked when you wrote that in the chat. So, Linda, Linda's in the chat. Do you have a good relationship with Linda? Is it possible for Linda to come up? Linda, are you able to come up and talk? No pressure if you don't want to. Fine.
I have no problem with her. I'd love for her to be up here because Linda's story shows an abuse of power.
Well, I find it very alarming that we've got certain people who are involved here, and somehow 3 different cases where fake federal agents have been inserted into all 3 cases. And that's something I feel needs to be addressed immediately. And I think the time is now. So, and of course, don't put yourself in harm's way.
Well, see, my thing, I can handle myself. I'm not worried about fake people. Do you and I do me. That's the way I handle myself. The death threats and all that, I turned them into police like citizens are supposed to. They never done nothing, so I let them know. I go locked and loaded. I'm not backing down when it comes to my son. No good parent will. But for anybody to exploit a person's child with a fake FBI agent or anybody else is despicable. Now,
So, Lisa Key, I hope you get to watch this. I would love to know what you think about your friend you're defending, Linda, intercepting emails with proof. I can go get the proof if you ever want to come on my panel. I can show it to you since she sent me those emails herself. And I'm the one that brought that to light prior to seeing this live, the whole live. I'm pretty sure I skipped through this and took pieces of Linda, but I've never listened to the whole live. I would have to say last night I was pretty floored listening to this live. I didn't listen to this part of the live. I didn't listen to the rest of this. I don't know what I listened to in this live. But I will tell you I didn't hear this. And I wish I would have a long time ago. This is crazy shit. Back then, Tiffany wouldn't have known. Nobody would have known. Going back now and looking at these old videos are 100% worth the look. In my opinion. I am not out here stating anything as fact. I'm speculating based on these people's words and the people they had speak for them. I'm staying on about 20 more minutes. I'm going to get off at the 3-hour mark. It's early. This is a long live. I'm going to come live again after dinner tonight. I'm going to try. And I'm going to cover more of this. I want to get through this as fast as possible because I have so much to show you guys. Mama Proudfoot is in construction, family owns. Yeah, see, Marion, I don't really follow. So I only follow Summer's case, and I don't intend on getting involved like this in another case. Now, I will cover true crime, but I don't think it's going to be, I'm just covering Summer. I don't want to get involved in another case as deeply as I did Summer's. However, I'm deep involved in the covering of it. Possibly in relation to it because of family connections to the area. I don't know. However, I've been speaking on that, and I think it's time to move on and look at some of the other stuff that people have missed while these people were just trashing Jody Sue and trashing Jody Sue and trashing Jody Sue. And that was the only content being fed to you. These are important. I don't care if people get on here and say, oh, you're watching old videos. There's a lot people missed back then that you can go back and look at. And usually in cases, after the case is done, you move on, you go to the next case, and all of this is forgotten about. I'm not allowing that in Summer's case. I don't care who gets mad at me, who trolls me or threatens to put lawsuits on me. There's something not right here. I don't know what that something is. I'm speculating. That's my opinion. But I damn sure am going to point it out. I want answers and justice for Summer. I don't like the games that these people involved me in because I'm innocent and I just wanted to show a child's picture and get her story out there and do the right thing for the world and be a good human being. I've been bounced around like a pinball. My heart's broken. My family's broken. If you think for one fucking minute I'm giving up now after I've lost so much, including a tooth, you want to post my pictures, you want to make fun of me, one day that'll be fixed. And even if it ain't, I don't care. I've said it a million times. I would lose all of my teeth to get answers and justice for this little girl. I'm going to go back and read some more of this. This is Johnny Cash's niece, Courtney Cash. Oh, the grandniece. The grandniece of country music legend Johnny Cash was found stabbed to death and placed inside a chest at her home in Baxter, Tennessee. Courtney was only 23 years old when she was attacked, while her young child and boyfriend were also in the home at the time. Another man, Wayne Mascarella, quickly confessed to the murder and pled guilty in court. Courtney's family and many locals in the area believe that Courtney's boyfriend was also involved in her death and should have been charged as well. Here's Josh. This case touched my soul. He had an abusive woman. They fought all the time. She was beautiful. I covered this case. I may even still have video on it. He was found. His family fought for justice for him. I don't know that they got it, and I can't go check on it. I did recently talk to his brother, but it wasn't about Josh. It was in a comment section before they took my Facebook. But I follow this case and their family all over Facebook when I have Facebook, and I haven't left it. I just don't cover it because it's heartbreaking. It destroyed their family. The brother struggles with addiction. He's sober and clean, but he's also a spokesperson for his brother. The mother was completely destroyed. It broke their family. Please check Josh's story out. I don't know if anybody remembers. I'll look for my original videos. Joshua Bohannon. Joshua Bohannon, 27, was last reported to be seen alive by his girlfriend June 3rd, 2021 at Burgess Falls State Park nearby Cookeville, Tennessee. 9 months later, Josh's body was found by a property. Taja, say hi. Get down. Sorry. Where was I? Josh's body was found by a property owner less than 7 miles from where he was last reported seen. That's all they put there. You know what? I hope it opens anew. We'll go back to it. The mysterious death of Joshua Bohannon. Who is Joshua? Born in 1994, 27-year-old Joshua Brian Bohannon has been described as a devoted family man. He was a loving brother, son, husband, and father to a young son and daughter. Despite updates from the police, the suspicious circumstances surrounding his death led local people in the area to believe that foul play was involved. Though Josh may have had a medical condition, his wife came under scrutiny for her involvement, and many criticized law enforcement's investigation. What happened to Joshua Bohannon? On June 3rd, 2021, Joshua Bohannon was last seen at a gas station in Cookeville, Tennessee. He and his wife, Jessica, had decided to visit Burgett's Falls State Park. Conflicting information indicated the couple were engaged in criminal activity in the park that day. I believe it was buying weed. Rangers working at the I don't know though, please don't quote me. I can't remember. I have to go look for my videos. Rangers working at the park recall seeing Jessica at a house on the park grounds. It was appeared that she was attempting to break in. Oh, I didn't hear this. I don't remember it. Rangers did not report seeing Josh at the time. And according to Jessica, he ran off into the woods when the couple realized they were being approached. My cat's back. Come back here, Tosh. She probably wants fed. Hold on. Jessica then left the park, going to the nearest gas station to get more gas and later returning to look for Josh. When her attempts to locate Taja. I'll be right back, guys. I want to finish reading this. Let me get the cat out of here before she logs me out. Sorry, guys. Welcome to my life. She wants fed. I can't find the cat food. I think we might be out. I think I have to go to the store. Okay. Whew. Let me go back and finish reading this because I did cover Josh's case, so I want to make sure I read his story to you guys. Okay. Let me breathe. Jessica then left the park, going to the nearest gas station to get more gas and later returning to look for Josh. Let me make sure I'm not muted. Okay. When her attempts to locate Josh were unsuccessful, she drove back to tell his family in person that she could not find Josh. Joshua Bohannon, last seen Burgess Falls State Park, Tennessee. That was another image of him. Finding Josh Bohannon. The Putnam County Sheriff reported to local news sources that hundreds of hours were spent looking for Josh and following potential leads. However, it would take 10 months before Josh would eventually be found. Josh was insulin dependent and did not have the medical he needed with him, which raised concerns for his family even more. Growing impatient with updates from local law enforcement, they hired a private investigator, offered a reward for answers, and reached out to local news stations to share his story. And there are news reports, please look them up. In March 2022, less than 7 miles from where Josh Bohannon was last seen, a property owner in Putnam County, Tennessee, located skeletal remains. Dental records confirmed that the remains of Joshua Bohannon were found in a wooded area between Burgett's Falls State Park and Window Cliff State Park. As you can see in the map below, the distance between the two parks was only 7 miles by car, but was much closer as the crow flies. I don't know what that means. Here's a map. Was foul play involved in Josh's death? Jessica Bohannon quickly moved on with her life, yes, gaining criticism from those who were still desperately searching for Josh and praying for answers. Less than 2 months after Josh had gone missing, she had already began a serious committed relationship with someone new. Most people close to the couple believe that Jessica had been seeing the same man in secret before Josh disappeared in 2021. Updates in the investigation. There have been no indications that police believe Josh's death was a result of foul play. While people in the area remain skeptical, including Josh's family, police seem to disagree with the claims that something sinister happened to Josh. The judicial 13th District of Tennessee has been heavily scrutinized recently. A billboard was placed in the most heavily populated area of the region to showcase 14 people who were missing or were found dead under suspicious circumstances. The families of those victims believe that the district attorney has not properly handled these cases. Tennessee murder billboard. How long is this? It's a lot of reading. No, it ain't. Okay. Tennessee murder billboard. Read more about Cookeville billboards. Oh, okay. It's just telling me what we were just really reading. What really happened? There are several theories that have emerged that could explain how Josh perished mere miles from where he vanished that day, despite the claims from law enforcement that hundreds of hours were spent looking for Josh. He was found very close to where he was last seen. Did he run from the park rangers and get lost in the woods? Was Josh's death a tragic accident? Was he lured there that day by someone with sinister intentions? If you have any information regarding the death of Joshua Bohannon, please contact the Putnam County Sheriff's Office. And my damn cat's back. Let me come here. I got 10 minutes. I wanted to stay on. The cat's going to make me get off early. I do want to read at least this lady's, Lisa Key's son's information now. Here he is. He's next. The cat's purring and crying at the same time. Anyone makes sense. Yeah, that case was interesting, Josh Bohannon. And in my opinion, I'm speculating the girlfriends had something to do with it. I followed that case closely. I didn't cover it as closely as I would have liked to. But there was a lot of twists and turns in that case, and there's news reports on it. Maybe one day I'll go over it with you guys because there's still not answers. And that family's broken over this man's death. They loved their brother, their son. So that's why I'm not downing these billboards, because I covered this and I watched that family. It's heartbreaking. Okay. Aaron Shane Key. This would be Lisa Key's son. He was handsome. He looks a little like Mac Miller, don't he? A taller, skinnier version. Sad. Aaron Shane Key. In the days leading up to Aaron's death, his parents knew that something was wrong. Aaron had found himself in a bad living situation with his girlfriend and reached out to his parents for their help and advice. Aaron decided to leave the residence on April 5th, 2019. He asked his father to give him a ride back to the house to pick up some of his belongings and try to retrieve the money he had given for rent before his departure. Aaron asked his father to leave him at the residence and returned 30 minutes later to pick him up. His father had not yet returned when he received a call that Aaron had unalived himself. Aaron Shane Key, 41, had been found unalived in an old barn on the property. He was found laying on the ground below the rafters with a rope around his neck. This is sad. Aaron's family has been adamant that Aaron's death was not an accident or a suicide. And that's all it says. He's the last case on there. DA Bryant Dunaway's statements. In light of recent scrutiny, the District Attorney of Tennessee's 13th District, Brian Dunaway, has released some statements on Fox News Nashville WZTV regarding the individual investigations. The statements can be read here. Maybe we'll do that another day. Petition to investigate. A petition has been started on change.org to launch a formal investigation into the 13th Judicial District of Tennessee. To locals in the area, an investigation seems necessary in light of the fact that these cases seem to have been most ignored by law enforcement. Click here to sign the petition. This is probably the news story we just watched. We can watch it one more time.
Cookeville, Tennessee.
Oh, no. This is actually longer, I think. Hold on. Yes. So we'll play this video. Hold on. Let me click out of some stuff here. Didn't I just? Yeah. We'll play this video. And then let me see how long I've been on. And then I'll jump off and I'll be back later tonight to watch more of Tiffany's live. I want to see where Linda comes on. I haven't seen it yet. Hi, Clementine. Yeah, it does seem that way, huh? My cat's an old lady. She was actually my father-in-law's cat. She's probably like 15, 16 years old. Okay.
A serious problem with unsolved cases, and the citizens of that county are fed up.
If he would have been going the speed limit, my son would be alive. He said, well, what do you want me to do, give him a speeding ticket? I said, well, she is a known dealer. You know this. Why won't you do something?
Well, I'm not going to do anything about these. They were here before my shift. And that's how he treats his job as district attorney.
All of us here are a member of a club. We shouldn't have to be. There's no reason for us to be if they were doing their jobs.
This is Exploring with the Nug. My name is Jeremy, and there is a story that I want to share with you. I'm sure you guys remember the two teenagers that I found in Sparta, Tennessee. Well, just north of Sparta, Tennessee, there is a town called Cookeville. And Cookeville seems to have a problem with missing persons and people who have been murdered or suicide and stuff, but it seems like they're not getting the justice that they deserve or the attention that they deserve. So I wanted to put this video out to show all of you exactly what's going on in that town. I came across this news story about a murder billboard in Cookeville, Tennessee, and it is really intriguing, very powerful story, and I want to share it with you. Let's watch that together right now, and then we'll talk about it later on.
The cases are all different. They spread out over decades, but they have something in common. They have a connection to District Attorney Brian Dunaway and the accusation that he has failed them.
It was a tough meeting. It's not easy to talk about the worst thing that ever happened to your family.
I can't do it right now.
It's hard to hold back the tears and rage when you feel like you still don't have justice. The family of murder victim Courtney Cash was upset evidence was destroyed instead of collected. They also feel the DA's office was protecting a strong suspect in exchange for his testimony.
We walked in his office. We were not even asked to sit down. And he stood up and he said, Austin Johnson is a victim and a witness. End of story. And we were dismissed.
Ken Young says he was shown the talk to the hand gesture.
I've never been dismissed like that by anybody in my adult life. Ever.
Terry Sullivan died 13 years ago. No one has ever been charged, despite what the family believes is a very strong lead. The family says DA Dunaway gave them a completely unacceptable answer when they asked for a case update.
His response to us was, well, that happened before I was elected. That was it.
Brooke Jolly says that doesn't even make sense. It's not how responsibility works.
I've worked in a restaurant before, and if you're the server that comes in on second shift, you don't look at the tables of customers sitting there and say, well, I'm not going to do anything about these. They were here before my shift. And that's how he treats his job as district attorney.
Jason Rice was hit and killed by a speeding driver who left the scene of the accident. His mom, Rosemary Moore, says she begged DA Dunaway to charge the driver with something.
He wasn't legally drunk. There's really nothing we can do. It was a tragic accident. I said, well, if he was driving without a license, he left the scene. He said, well, leaving the scene is not a crime in the state of Tennessee, to leave the scene of an accident. And I said, well, he was speeding. He was reckless. If he would have been going the speed limit, my son would be alive, 30 miles an hour. He said, well, what do you want me to do? Give him a speeding ticket? They said it was.
Monica Kayson's brother, Brandon Hood, died of a drug overdose, but his watch, phone, gold necklace, and shoes were stolen from his body in the apartment where he died.
This one.
Kayson wanted the apartment owner, convicted drug dealer Sarah Underwood, to be thoroughly questioned about the overdose and theft. Kayson says she couldn't believe what an assistant DA told her.
She won't tell us anything. I said, well, she is a known dealer. You know this. Why won't you do something? Well, she's lawyered up. And?
Kayson asked, when does having a lawyer stop an investigation? She admits she was enraged and emotional and threatened to go after Underwood herself. She said that was met with sarcasm.
He looks at me and he says, well, Monica, he said, you've never been in trouble. I believe you're a good candidate for pretrial diversion. What does that say?
We asked District Attorney Bryant Dunaway for responses in each case. He told us he would consider responding if we allowed him to speak unedited. We told him he could respond.
Because he's pardoning people that are laundering and doing shit with money. The rich like to be rich. What's their names? Crizel or something that just got out on a pardon. That's why. How can he go after the ones that are harming humans and kids when he's letting people out of prison that do this kind of stuff? I like Trump to a point. There are things about every administration I like and I dislike. This has to be one of the things I dislike. But in my opinion, that's why Isabella. Yeah. All right. Where do we go?
In an email, and we would put the entire email response online with the story. There are other stories in this room, every bit as heartbreaking, every bit as incomplete, every bit as soul-shattering. They are the stories behind the billboard just off the interstate in Cookeville. The pain behind all of these photos, a deep black hole that can only be filled with justice.
All of us here are a member of a club. We shouldn't have to be. There's no reason for us to be if they were doing their jobs.
Each one of these stories is so compelling, we're going to do complete investigations into each one of them.
What do you guys think about that story? I find that pretty crazy that all of the cases that's going on in that county are surrounded around that district attorney. Now, I've met the guy personally. I met him through the two teenagers that I found in Sparta, Tennessee. Seemed like an upstanding guy, doing his job, well-dressed. That's all I know about him. So I want all of you to do your own research. Together as a community, we can do our own investigations, get to the bottom of it, knock on some doors, shoot some emails, whatever you want to do. Because us as a community, we can do whatever we want as long as we're obeying the laws. And, these political officials, sheriffs, cops, they have rules to follow, and some of them, sadly, don't want to do it. But we can come together and we can irritate them enough to do their job, maybe get the right people on the case, because we all know that there are a lot of amazing people in the official capacity, like the DAs, the cops, the mayors, all these.
I never followed Nug. Wasn't he with Ryan? Isn't he the searcher that was with Ryan, or who was Nug with? Nita Diver? Was he part of one of the search teams? I remember hearing Nug in Summer's case. He's also covering this. I think this is professional, though. I don't disagree with what he's saying. Just odd shit.
These guys that do an amazing job, but there are a handful of them out there that don't want to do their job right, that all they're looking for is winning the next election or making some money or just coasting through life to get to that pension. And sadly, we can't differentiate who they are from the good ones. So that's where we got to do our own investigation, see what we can figure out. Now, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm simply creating this video for awareness because there are a lot of people in that town who are suffering, who want help, who want answers, and they're just not getting it.
That's what I thought last night when her voice wasn't coming up. It was a mistake. I did say in my live last night, I do not believe that was Lisa Kay. But Lisa Kay went on to threaten me with a lawsuit today. But what's really strange about that is Christopher Larson came into the chat and said that he knew Lisa Key. Christopher Larson is Rose Bly's husband. That's odd. Watch last night's live to see that.
But there are millions of people out there, and if this video reaches you and you're feeling the need to want to start writing some emails or do your own investigation, by all means, just get online, Google murder billboard, Cookeville, Tennessee, and get your investigation started. If you would like some more information on this story, make sure you go to Fox 17's channel from Nashville. Check out their stories. Maybe reach out to them if you want to talk to them. I'm sure they got a Facebook page. They're going to be covering more and more of these this story in more detail, like a case by case with these missing and murdered people. And I believe they call it the Perrier Files. So look that up. Do your own investigation. Together, we can become something amazing and actually find the answers that they're just not getting. Because some of these cases go back years and years and years, and there's no answers. They've gone cold, and it seems like they've been given up on. All the links to Fox 17 and the Perrier Files I'll put down in the description. They get full credit for this news story. I just wanted to spread their story a little bit further so the families up in Cookeville can get some answers and get some help. There are a few people on that billboard that weren't in this news story, but they're not forgotten. For instance, Josh Bohannon went missing a few months ago under suspicious circumstances, and nothing is really getting done. I don't know how the investigation is going, so I can't definitively say that it's being neglected, but from what I've been hearing, it's not going well. So maybe look up on that one too. I'll put his picture up on the screen right now. I'll also link a Facebook page down below. That's for Finding Justice for Josh. You can go check that out. And if I can figure something out, find some places to go, I'm going to go look into that case personally, see if I can find something, ruffle some feathers, so to speak. So that's all I got today. I'm back out in the field next week, doing more searches for missing people and seeing if I can help loved ones. And if you think I'm doing a good job,
Hold on, let me share the link to that video. That's Exploring with Nug. I think we've heard of him. He's worked with some creators somewhere in Summer's case. There's been so many. I can't get them straight. But I did enjoy this video. If you want to give him a sub, I will. I'll give him a like. It might help. I don't know much about him. But all right, I'm going to let you guys go here. I'm going to leave Tiffany's. Where are we at? 1 hour, 49 minutes out of a 6-hour live. Oh, boy. I'm going to go. I'll be back later tonight and we'll watch at least another hour. Okay? I thank you guys for all being here. Peace and love. I'll see you later tonight. You have a good night, good day, good evening, good dinner, whatever it is, morning, wherever you're at. Bye.